Hey guys, it's me from Jane's Kitchen, and today we're going to be making chicken dinner with Brussels sprouts and rice. So I'm using 3 boneless skinless chicken breasts. I'm going to make a spice rub for it, and the spice rub is going to have pepper, garlic powder, Italian seasoning, onion powder, chili powder, paprika, and salt. The measurements will be in the description, and I'm going to mix these all together in a bowl and put it on the chicken. I'm going to put it on both sides of the chicken so that the flavor is spread throughout. And you want to be pretty generous with this because chicken doesn't really have a lot of flavoring already, whereas steak already has a lot of flavors, just needs salt and pepper. So I'm gonna put the spice rub on the chicken, and then after I season my chicken, I'm gonna put oil in a pan. Preferably you would use a cast iron pan, but I'm using a nonstick skillet. Then after my oil gets hot, I'm going to lay the chicken into the pan away from me. That way the oil doesn't splatter on me. If you don't hear that sizzling sound, like when you put it into the pan, take the chicken out and reheat the pan because that sizzling sound is going to give the chicken a lot of flavor. So you're going to cook the chicken for about 6 to 10 minutes each side, and then you flip it. My chicken took around 8 minutes on each side, because it was about an inch thick and it was a bit cold in the middle. So it's been 8 minutes. Then I'm going to flip it to the other side and cook it for another 8 minutes. So after my chicken has been cooking for 8 minutes, I'm going to take a thermometer and check the internal temperature. The internal temperature should be 165 degrees Fahrenheit. If it's under that, like 150 degrees Fahrenheit, then that means it's raw, so cook it for a little more. Then after it's cooked, I'm going to take it and put it onto a tray and let it rest for 5 minutes. If you don't let it rest and you just cut it right open, all the juice is going to spill out. So I took my chicken out, and then I'm going to take a wooden spatula and scrape down the pan, because there's a bunch of little bits and flavors of the pan from the chicken. This is going to help make the base for the sauce that we're going to make with the chicken. So after I scrape down the pan, I'm going to add some butter and let this butter melt. So you want to be careful not to burn this butter. It's going to brown it just a little bit. You don't want to burn it. So my butter is melted. I'm going to add some flour. This is going to help thicken the sauce. Then I'm going to use my spatula and stir it and mix the butter and the flour together. So now that my butter and my flour are mixed, and it should look like this, I'm gonna take some chicken stock and put it into the pan. You don't want to put it all at once, otherwise the sauce is gonna be very liquidy. It's not gonna thicken. So you're gonna put it just a little bit at a time, and then you put a little bit in, let it boil it off, and you put a little bit more. You want to take your time with this. It's gonna take a while, but it's gonna turn out really well. So after you put all your chicken stock in slowly, you put some salt and pepper. You want to put salt and pepper because it's gonna help give the sauce more flavor. Then I'm gonna just mix it up so that it's evenly distributed. So this is basically the sauce. You can add anything else you want to it. And the way to check if it's done, you take the back of a spoon and run your finger down. It should separate into 2 sides, and that's how you know it's done. I put my sauce to the side. I turn it on to simmer to keep the sauce warm. And then another pan, I'm gonna put oil inside, and then cook some garlic inside. You might want to cut your garlic a bit bigger than mine, otherwise, because mine burned. So you might want to cut it a bit bigger. So I kind of burned my garlic, but that's okay. I'm going to take some Brussels sprouts and put it into the pan. And usually people they would roast this or steam it, but when I do that, I don't find it has much flavor. So I'm just going to put it in the pan and stir it until it's cooked. That's about like 7 minutes. I'm going to put some lemon on it to give more flavor, and it's going to help steam it a bit so that it cooks faster. Then I'm going to stir it. You could put any seasoning you want on this. I just put traditional salt and pepper. You could put rosemary or basically just anything you want. You can put honey or sesame oil. So this is the plate when it's done. You have rice, Brussels sprouts, chicken, and some lemon, and winner chicken dinner.